This is the part of the program that Patreon won't hear. Oh, wait, no, it did it fast today. Yay. Wow.
Patreon exclusive.
Patreon's like, take that, Merit. Trash on us. We'll go live real fast today. Hey, welcome to the Friday Hangout, everybody. We got a huge crowd today. This is awesome. Thanks for joining me.
We have a quorum. We definitely have a quorum.
We definitely have such a quorum.
Tom, it's great to be here.
We are gathered here today at the behest of that Charlie dude, Charlie Cadenhead. Charlie, thank you so much for calling us all together. Charlie sent in an email about wanting to get some tips on improving video and audio and AV setups. And so I overdid it and got all these people together. Charlie, tell us a little bit more, expand on that email you sent about what's going on and what you're wanting to get help with.
Okay, thanks for having me. So I'm a college professor. I do teach tech courses, but I'm a college professor and we've been encouraged to do more and more AV work, more and more videos for our online courses. And I've been, thinking about upgrading my system for a while and been slowly tweaking it, right? I have no money, no budget. And I was like, if I'm thinking about this, I wonder if there's other listeners of DTNS who may have similar questions, like they may be doing Zoom calls more or working remote and need a better setup for as cheap as possible.
So where should we start? Do you want us to start on the audio or the video side of things?
I don't know. Probably audio. Audio tends to have the most problems, right? I mean, I had problems getting into the chat room today. So let's start with audio.
All right. So what are you using right now? Is that that's a headset mic that you're on, right?
It's a headset mic. It is Shockwaves or Shocks, or they call them. Here's another one without the mic. I have that. I also have wireless lavalier mic, which I didn't hook up because I was afraid it wasn't going to work.
Okay. And this is a what are the lavaliers? Do you know what brand they are?
I don't know. Probably the cheapest I could afford. They say Hollyland on them.
Those are actually decent reviewed.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a
They
set
were
of
like
Hollyland. I
$50.
love them.
They're like the best Chinese white label. That's $30 on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah, that's what they were. They were like less than $50.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And you bought those because they were a bargain, and you lucked into getting one of the best, which is good. Did you have the headset for something else, or did you buy that for this too?
I think I bought it for this, but when Amazon put them on sale, Amazon will put the Shockwave headsets on sale every once in a while. And when they drop these down to $100 or less, I picked them up. And I have intermittent issues with them to the point where I bought the extra little dongle to plug in because they're supposed to work with Bluetooth, and I could never get that to work. So I bought the dongle. So I really didn't get them on sale.
Are you preferring, because you have a lav and a headset, are you preferring to have something that's like not a Heil microphone floating in front of you like I have? You want something that's a little more visually out of the way?
I could do that. I'm recording in a couple of different locations. That's part of the problem. The other problem is also cost. I'm trying to keep the costs down. Having dedicated space to set up a recording area is also an issue.
All right. So we have assembled all the podcasters that would say yes to my invite today. My co-host on Daily Tech News Show, Rob Dunwood, producer of It's a Thing, and the CISO series and everything else, Rich Straffolino, our DTNS producer, Anthony Lamos, co-host on DTNS and host of AI Inside, Jason Howell, our producer, Hammond Chamberlain, host of Android Faithful, longtime friend Ron Richards. So who wants to go first with the audio recommendation? Anybody want to take Charlie's first question?
I will start with the audio. And because you've just said that you're going to be recording in multiple places, My recommendation would be a dynamic mic. It's almost always a dynamic mic. So the difference, but there's two styles of mics. One is a condenser mic that generally pick everything up. You can almost hear a pin drop, and they will pick it up. That is not what you want when you're creating podcast or vlog style podcasting. That the mic that Amos is showing you right now, Blue's marketing on the Blue Yeti is ridiculous, but it is a ridiculously horrible mic for podcasting because it picks everything up in the room. It's a good mic. It's just not a good mic if you don't have sound treated room.
Well, you want your listeners to hear your whole neighborhood. Yeah, this mic right here will do that.
Well, hang on.
It's a Swiss Army knife. It's a Swiss Army knife.
In its defense, I spent the first 5 to 8 years on Blue Yeti in my podcast, and it was just fine. It got depending on what you're doing and what your goals are and what your audience is and what your expectations are. Charlie, I was producing a podcast about comic books for nerds, and we built the number one podcast in iTunes at the time, and all three of us had Blue Yeti mics. It didn't matter. Right, we didn't have a lot of money. We don't have audio degrees. It got the job done. So there's a balance, right? So
the thing is, can it work? Yes. Would I recommend it to anyone new? No.
My first was an SM58, just a straight up music SM58, and I used that for 6 years before my wife got me a Heil and made me feel like I actually was doing something right.
Yeah.
I would say the ramen noodles in terms of like minimum viable dynamic mic for me is always the Audio Technica 2100 USB. I did that. It's the goat of cheap microphones.
Yep.
I did the first 6 years of Daily Tech Headlines with that, and it's really great. Now, the one thing I will say with the mobile setup, the one reason I might not recommend it for you is it is super sensitive to any kind of handling noise. Unlike something like Hammond, like you were saying, like a SM58 or something like that. Like if you're holding it like this and moving it around, it has like a very dinky kind of USB connection on it at the very end. That could get disconnected if you're like hand holding it. And the other thing is the handling noise is just kind of crazy on it. So I don't depending on what your setup is. Now, are you thinking like I'm going to be standing in front of like a class or doing like a presentation where, hey, I'm walking around, I'm pointing at a slide deck or something like that? Or are you going to be sitting at a desk? Like what is, because that would depend a lot. Like if you don't have to move it, AT2100, you can put it on an arm, you can put it on a desk mount. It's great. But what do you like? What is the setup that might help? Because I actually might have a little bit of a different take on it.
It's going to be in my office, so either in this office here or my home office. Not at the classroom stage yet.
Okay.
And you won't be walking around while you use it. You'll be able to just put it in one place.
That makes things
sounds
way
like a
big
solid
difference.
choice then.
Yeah.
And is that the AT2100? Is that a USB or is that it is a
it's
USB
both.
mic?
USB XLR combo.
Okay,
so you can grow with
great.
it.
Now the problem is that it's discontinued, so they don't make it anymore. So they're getting harder and harder to find.
What? No. Don't they make one with USB-C now? It's like 20 or the 2005.
That was the 2100X.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that's
you can still get them, but they're no longer manufacturing them.
Okay. Yeah. I will also give a warning that they are not child-proof. So if your child drops one on a hardwood floor, it will make a buzzing sound forever after that. So that's just a note also.
So an alternative to that, this in the same price range is the one I was holding up here. This is Samsung's version of the AT2100X. This is the Samsung Q2U. You can find them for $59 to $79. Usually, if you're paying more than $89 for it, you probably should hold off and see if you can't find a sale. But this and the ATR 2100X, they were, very, very close. I would give the one, the ATR an A. I'd give this like the A, the A minus. I would give that other one an A+. I would give this one an A. It's a very good mic. One of the downsides is that they have not updated this thing in a while. So it actually doesn't even use mini USB or micro uses USB, excuse me. It uses mini USB. So it is a very old connector. Now, the thing with mics is that they don't need to change the technology in them all that often, because if you build a good mic, unless people's voices change, somehow, these mics will work forever. Like the mic that I'm on right now was first built like in '59. 1959. So, good mic technology kind of lasts forever. But these mics, as Rich said, they're not tanks. They're not like an SM58 that you literally use it to hammer stuff in, and that mic will still be fine. This is not the case with these. But for $69, $79, $89, they are really, really good dynamic mics, and they cut out a lot of the background noise. Like if I literally have a space heater that is, I can touch it. I'm touching it with my right arm right now, but my gut tells me you don't hear it.
Something else to think, those microphones, the 2100, the Q2U, that line of microphones, they've been really good for mic technique. You don't have to have perfect mic technique to get good sound on those microphones. They're very forgiving. Something about making a microphone hardy and making it turning it into a hammer makes it to where you have to have mic technique to use it properly. And those, for as not hammer resistant as they are, they're very good for training you how to speak properly on the microphone and get good sound out of it. And it's very forgiving for that.
And speaking about mic technology, I have a Shure Green Bullet that came out in 1947 that I bought when I was in college, and it still sounds amazing. So, I mean, it's one of those.
What do we think? Is it just a little too pricey to do an SM58, an XLR cable, and an adapter to USB?
Once you get into audio interface range, to me, that's like a level of complication that to me you don't need anymore. If you only ever plan to have it one mic forever,
keep it simple. Keep it simple. I'm a big proponent of that.
I have advised people who want to grow, if they say like, eventually I want to upgrade, to go the route that I said with an XLR adapter, because it allows them to change out and upgrade their mic easily. But Charlie, that's the question. Is this something where you're like, I just need something I'm going to use. I don't plan to continually upgrade over time.
I just need something I can plug in. It's easy. I don't have to have a mixer or anything else to plug it into.
Charlie,
the nice thing about these mics, they will grow with you because they are both XLR and USB. So if you ever decided that you want to plug into a mixer, you can plug them in
more nowadays.
Can I throw a little?
And you don't have to do a mixer. What I was suggesting was using something like the Wave XLR, which takes an XLR input and then turns it into USB so that you could use any mic with it. If you're thinking, someday I might, I want to get a Heil PR40 or something more expensive, then you might want to consider going that direction. But that's the nice thing about something like the Q2U, is that you can still use that with an XLR adapter because it's both XLR.
And even after you upgrade it turns into a great backup microphone.
Yeah.
Can I throw a wild card out here?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say, I don't necessarily know if this is the ideal solution. If you want more of the radio style voice, if you want the kind of that natural sound isolation that dynamic mic can give you, all these recommendations are fantastic. However, because video is going to be a part of this, if you don't necessarily want the mic in the shot, because these mics do require you to be fairly close up, another option would be, this has its own set of trade-offs, is like a DSLR kind of style shotgun mic. Those are small, inexpensive. You can hook them up over just like your typical mini jack kind of thing. You aren't going to get the same like kind of NPR roll-off that you would get if you're using like a Electro Voice RE20 or something like that. But they can definitely be effective. I know a lot of more video focused creators that like to use those. One of our producers for the CISO series, kind of that's his preferred thing. The Rode ones are very nice. They are very expensive. Like the mini, like the Pod Mini. Yes. Like kind of those NTG.
I mean, this
ones.
one's more expensive. This is not the cheaper one, but yeah.
But Deity makes some nice mics. Now those sometimes you have to like worry about batteries with them and stuff like that. So there are a set of trade-offs. But you could set that up so it would be just out of range. You could put it on a pole arm or something, like right above where you're at, pointed right at your face. You wouldn't get as good sound isolation, but you can kind of futz with the gain and stuff like that. That would be an option if you don't like this, the mic in your face kind of look.
And would you recommend mounting it like pointing at him?
Yes, yeah, it would point. It's very the pickup pattern is very directional.
So it's out of the camera, but pointing right at
you. You basically you want to be looking like if you look at the microphone for a shotgun mic, you want to be you need it to be a circle. You don't need it to be off to the side or anything else. You need to be looking at it to where you can only see the tip that's pointed at you, and you can't see the rest of it. Because if you can see the rest of it, you're off axis with it.
Yeah, you need to be staring down the barrel of the shotgun, basically.
Yep. Yeah, little red dot right on your forehead.
I will add in if you do want to eventually go the upgrade route, and you want something more portable. then do something like what Rich is doing here, where he's got a wireless microphone that is using its own connection to a dongle. It is not using Bluetooth. Stay away from Bluetooth if you want high fidelity audio, as a general rule for wireless connections.
Bluetooth is the devil for podcasting. I will just like
Bluetooth's the devil.
literally-
Bluetooth's the devil. Period. By the way, I can attest to that.
no, we for the CISO series, like we have a policy. If you show up with the Bluetooth mic, we're like, if you don't have something wired, we're rescheduling because it's just too much. Even if the connection doesn't fade out, you can just get weird. Like I don't know if it's aliasing.
Yeah.
It's like audio,
And it might be great in the beginning, and then at some point just degrade and fizzle.
The
Bluetooth
devil.
is just is
Better than it used to be does not mean still good.
right. But if you're using something like what Rich is using right now, it's its own dedicated,
it's an
frequency
RF.
or whatever, then that's fine. Those work great because there's no Bluetooth in the way. That Bluetooth
what
layer
about-
messes with audio.
What about going that direction where you buy something like the Rode wireless mics that you can use as a lav or have it in the stick mic like that? What do we think of that?
I think that's a great flexible option. I mean, especially if you're talking about going into a classroom eventually, you need something that's going to be portable and you don't have a lot of money to spend. You can go. I mean, I think, Rich, your audio is sounding really good. Anyone that would look at that wouldn't immediately know that it isn't a standard handheld mic, right? But you've got it mounted as it is. And it just kind of occurs to me, if you had that scenario mounted on a regular tripod mount or whatever, you get great audio and you have the flexibility to remove it and go into the classroom
And
do
just
another
clip
thing
it.
with
You just clip it on your shirt.
And
or
oftentimes,
magnetically snap it. Yeah.
Those wireless microphones, you pay $149 or $200 for one. For an extra like $50, you get a second one.
Yep.
And now suddenly you have another microphone for a guest or whatever else that you might want to use, even if or the battery runs out, you've still got one fully charged. Like getting the two mics, one receiver setups it's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, Rode and
you can
DJI
get
are really
you can
doing
get
good work
the
with those.
packages for about the same as one of the Q2Us sell for.
And they're great for they're great for being out in the field. And I don't know what your plans are with your show, but if you're going to do any social media content or anything like that, they're great for producing.
You have to hold it in front of you when you do your YouTube shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I know people.
It's not because you have to. That's just the acceptable style.
They're contractually obligated to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
People
have to
shake,
at least
people
make it
shake their
visible.
finger at that. They shake their finger at that, but I'm sorry, there are situations where that actually sounds better.
Oh, I know. I'm just. It was just one of those.
The audio purists will immediately go, "Oh, those influencers don't know how to use them." And
That's
there's
essentially
probably
what Rich is
truth
doing
to
right
that.
now, though. That's
That's
yeah,
that's
It
exactly
isn't
right.
that different, right? He just
I
has a
know.
nice
No,
package
well,
for
it's
it.
But
All you
Rich
have to
spent
have
the
it do is-
$7 to look professional while doing it.
All you have to do
Give it a
is,
watch.
is have your mic flip down on your shirt one time when you had the great take, and then
Yep.
your audio sounds like this, and then you're like, nope, it's not worth it ever again. Nope.
No,
agree.
I'm
Totally
just poking fun because it's just one of those things.
Oh, also,
It's
my
a
favorite
thing.
my favorite thing about this setup, this is just a piece of plastic. There is this is you
there
could
weights
3D
in it?
print
Is
this.
You
Is it-
could
is there any
3D
heft-
print
There's
it
a little-
yourself.
and
Yeah.
there is a thread on it. So if you wanted to treat this as a boom, it's kind of nice. You could boom. it
Oh,
up.
really? Yeah. I didn't realize that.
so,
had
but,
before.
like,
That's cool.
It's I felt so silly buying. It's literally just I get the whole plastic. It's so nice.
Oh, I
That's what
own.
we use for
I own a
CES this year. So
I own a set of DJIs and I own some Hollywood Lands, and the DJI does sound better overall. But I mean, my wife can't tell the difference. And for the price difference, if you're not listening, if you're not dealing with people who listen to stuff all the time and are picky, the Hollywood Lands are just as good.
yep, there we go. That's the DJI
Yeah.
ones. These are
Those are
right there.
super
Look
cute.
how tiny. Look at how tiny they are.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and it does a
connects-
line out too,
Yeah,
Don't
you can
swallow it.
or line in, or no, or is that the power button?
It's for lavalier. You can
Oh,
move
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
lavalier right on it.
This right here,
Yeah.
no, this is actually
Oh, for
That's
the,
for the little-
dead
it's
It's
cat.
the
Puffy
Muppet head. The Muppet head.
But you can also, on the ones I have, they have you can put it on your belt clip and then have like a lavalier come up and attach to your shirt.
Oh, you probably
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I
nice
never thought that that's
extensibility.
probably also an audio input.
It's
I
just a
never
mini jack,
considered
isn't it?
that. That's
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But it doubles as a little.
We're all learning things today. Oh, that
This is also
Professor,
one of
that
the
Charlie dude.
the nerdiest conversations I've ever been involved in. So Charlie, thank you for facilitating this.
What, Professor, that Charlie dude. Is this
This
like?
is the
Yes,
actual
that's
lab.
it. Yes,
Is this
that's
helping?
it. Yeah.
Is this helping? Is this too much? Are we giving
No,
too much?
this is good.
Okay,
No,
I just want to make sure.
So, Rich, your mic fits into your piece of plastic, right? Fits into the handle.
Yes, it is. It is made
It's not a
harder.
euphemism.
It actually uses the clip that you would clip it onto your shirt with.
Okay.
And it just slides right in. Very
All right.
nice.
That's interesting. Okay. Because when Tom was showing the picture of it, I didn't equate the two when he showed the
Yeah,
wireless
no, it's good to
ME.
see the visual like that.
Yeah,
on.
I didn't
And then-
realize that was what that was.
Oh wow!
know,
And then you
Here
got
we go.
Look at
flagged.
that. It looks like a real mic. I mean,
Hello.
it is a real mic.
Totally.
but it-
These are the cybersecurity headlines for whatever the day is today. I'm Rich Straffolino.
It's Friday the 13th.
Is it? Oh, man,
It is. Yeah.
Can't deal with that.
That's a great
Don't like that.
cybersecurity day, Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's. I mean, if you
about
follow the
hacking.
cybersecurity news, every day is a great day for cybersecurity news. It's all bad, all the time.
Right.
Oh,
So
man.
I
all
would
these-
I would be remiss if we didn't point out Jason's headphones that look like whoppers on either side of his head. Like he took a whopper and stuck it on either side of his head, like they got buns.
Burger. Every time I edit my podcast, I'm a burger.
I
Two all
can't
beef
unsee
patties.
that now.
It's wood. It's not a bun.
M&M
Charlie, you were
sticker
about
on
to
there.
ask a question, and we're here for you. So I feel like I should give you the floor.
I will add, put a little M&M sticker on it. Right.
Nice.
M&M.
Yeah, it's like the caramel M&M.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
for all these suggestions, all these are pretty much I can plug directly into my computer, or I can plug into like a Wave XLR unit. I don't have to have any special equipment between the mic and the computer, correct, or the recording device.
For the ones we
Well,
suggested,
Yes.
for the most part,
So
What we all
yeah.
suggest so
for
far.
everything we've suggested, it's either a USB connection or it's a dongle that you plug into a USB connection and then it's wirelessly connecting to the dongle. There are versions of the Rode and the DJI that we showed that use Bluetooth, and everyone I think has said, please don't do that if you want to make your life easier.
Bluetooth is the devil. Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just going to record on a phone, that's all you're ever going to do, it's probably going to be okay, but it's not great. You're still going to run into issues with it, and that's not the situation that Charlie's in.
Tom,
So,
a venal sin is still a sin.
yeah.
Friends don't let for podcasters don't let podcasters use Bluetooth.
If
Sin
you're
of
recording,
omission or commission.
Man, that should be a T-shirt.
Rich and I are compatible. If you're recording, do not use Bluetooth under
There's
any
a
circumstances.
new DTNS shirt right there.
Yeah.
Friends
New
don't let
Podcasters don't let
Podcasters don't let
use
podcasters
Bluetooth.
use Bluetooth.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's,
that's
the new
such a
DTNS
shirt.
shirt right there.
Podcasters
All right,
would
let's get
appreciate
that in the
shirt.
DTNS
I
store,
would do
Joe.
that at every podcaster related event I went to.
So
I'll,
someone talked about the mics that are used in theater, and those are traditional wireless mics that are transmitting on different frequencies. So they have individual receivers on stage, and
Yeah.
then they are routed to the board. So they're not specifically like this, but they're the more, I guess, the advanced older brother of what we're talking about.
Yeah, and they and still you'll run into interference with those.
Oh yeah, no, I've worked on plenty of shows where we picked up airplanes and police broadcasts and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. We used to use those at CES, or at least tried to. And with everyone else using every
Oh my gosh!
available spectrum, we went right back to wired.
Spinal Tap plays the Air Force Base.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Seattle.
exactly.
You roll back to XLR and 2G. That's the rule of CES from what I remember.
Yeah. So Charlie, any other questions on audio?
I think that covers that. Will get me started, right? So
Yeah.
I can
Oh, yeah.
get a mic. I can 3D print a handle. No,
You probably could.
We were being facetious about printing it. Amos was going to do that for CES, but you can buy the handles literally for like I have
They're
one that I
pretty
got
cheap.
for $7.99 on Amazon.
Yeah,
Don't get the
got,
Rode
I got
one.
a 2-pack for $15, and it came with the fuzzies thing on top. So yeah.
I mean, you could get the Rode. I'm not saying don't support Rode, like they sell their own, but it's needlessly expensive because it's not
30.
And most of the ones that I saw online would accept the Rode or the DJI or the you just slide it in and it had the adapter would accept any of them. So
Yeah, because it's just a belt clip
that's
thing, the
cool.
little clippy thing on it. So it's just a matter of
Well, and that's actually a hot shoe. Like this one is sized to a hot shoe. So anything that will, like a camera flash shoe, anything that will fit that size, because this can just go on top of a camera flash, which is nice.
So what do we think about Charlie using the ones he has and just getting a mic enclosure for him?
Well, we'd have to look to see, can you plug your receiver into your computer? Because they all don't necessarily allow that.
The Hollyland ones?
yeah.
I think, because it should do a line out at least.
It does a
'Cause
line
otherwise,
out.
how would it?
So if it has a line out, so yeah.
It's got a
Yeah.
USB-C, which I didn't bring with me. It's got a USB-C line out.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it's-
So that's basically what I'm doing here is
Yep.
over USB-C from the receiver into my computer.
It
So
goes to the receiver, and then there's the mic.
Okay.
yeah, I think
I think
it would
that'd
be
be perfectly ample.
the only thing I would do is run stress test the batteries. The batteries on this are pretty good. They're like 4 hours each.
Yeah.
But I would just make sure the batteries would last for whatever length you would want to.
That
I'm
is
not
I'm
recording
glad
that
you
long.
I'm glad you remembered that though, because battery management, it does become an issue. Even if it doesn't run out of battery in your recording length, you have to remember to recharge and all of that, because if you do a longish recording and you don't run out of battery and then you forget that and then you start the next day, it could run out in 10 minutes. So you just got to.
Well, and I'm assuming in a stand, in an enclosure, you're not gonna be able to see the battery lights on it if
No.
it does have battery lights.
Sometimes
The
some of them
Rode
will show
receiver
it.
does have it.
Yeah.
But you'd have to be looking at it. I mean,
Yeah.
So this is one of those areas that people don't talk about on the higher end stuff. Is not only as soon as I put it back, as it's charging, it gives me my battery levels, which are blown
that's
out on my
nice.
screen. But then as soon as it's in here, like this is the charge for the case. The case itself has a charge, so I can get 8 hours on a battery for each one of these, and then the case itself gives me another 36 hours for both of them.
That's DJI, right?
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
DJI Mic 2.
So, Rode, because they're Rode, doesn't supply the charging case with theirs unless you buy the Super Pro model, which is way more expensive. But they do give you the greatest dongle of all time, which is a triple USB with a little USB, so you can charge all three at the same time. It's so flimsy. It is like you can do the pencil trick, but for real.
How convenient.
I mean,
It's-
it works though.
It does
Does the
work,
trick.
but like this.
So you're saying it's more of a cable than a dongle.
Like I feel like they were like, listen, we can only spend $7 to develop something for this. And an engineer was like, you know what? This fits the bill. Don't show this to the design team, please. Because it does work. You're absolutely right. It is effective in charging all of them from one USB cable, but it has no dignity at all. And I love it.
But we're podcasters, so we lost our dignity a while ago.
Yeah, that comes with the territory.
All right, let's switch to video. Charlie, what are your requirements for video? What are you looking at? What are you using now, and what would you like to improve on?
I was going to try to make some witty comment, but I'm just using a couple webcams. This is a generic webcam I'm using. I have no clue what the brand is. I think Work bought it for me a couple of years ago. I have a Logitech webcam at home that I bought, I think, during COVID lockdown. So that's where I'm at. And both of them plug directly into my computer. Or
Do
really
any
into
of
my
them look like
hub.
this?
They, not as fancy as that, but yes, that's the idea.
Okay.
The little clip-on webcams. I would show it to you, but then of course you wouldn't be able to see it.
Because this is the workhorse of webcams.
Yeah.
It's 1080 only. It's ancient, but they still sell it because it still works really,
works.
really well, and it's only $100.
I think the one I have is older than that.
It would be difficult.
me the-
Yeah, that would be difficult. It's been around.
It's
This thing
actually
is
an
like
eyesight
15
camera.
years old, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Firewire
something like
eyesight
that.
camera.
that
That's
one
also-
looks better than mine.
That's also the like the same thing where it's a hammer. Like you cannot destroy one of those shy of shining a laser directly into the lens. Like it'll last you for almost forever.
Yeah.
So
And
I would
now-
say this: the camera that you're on right now, if you're really trying to save money, before I would buy any additional camera, because the camera you're on right now is completely usable, I would get lights. It looks like you have at least a 1080p camera. So what I would
the camera
do,
quality is not bad.
the camera quality is actually it's very usable for what you're going to be doing.
Lighting.
So
It's
my
always
first
lighting.
investment would be into lighting because, it doesn't matter how good of a camera you get. I've got an FX3. It's a $4,000 camera that is sitting behind me. If I turn these lights off, I will look crappy. The lights are what help drive the image in the camera. So that's the first upgrade that I always tell people. If you have a usable camera, if you're using your phone, before you go and spend any money on upgrading the camera, upgrade your lights, because that's going to get you way more bang for your buck. If you don't have good light, you're not going to look good regardless of what the camera is. It'll just be clearly poorly lit video.
Real quick, the chair would like to recognize Senator Heaton has joined us as well. Thank you, Andrew Heaton.
Hello. Apologies on being late, traffic and all of that stuff. Nothing illegal, nothing suspicious, just traffic. I have really bad lighting, but thank God I've got good ambient lighting coming in from the outside right now. Otherwise, I would look like a ghoul, and I need to take that advice and get better lighting on my end.
I'm gonna hop on Rob's thing real quick. And this is one of those things that doesn't get mentioned enough, but it should. If you are non-melanated, as most of us on this panel are, lighting will suffice no matter what. If you are highly pigmented, if you have advanced melanin, as my family likes to say, lighting is not an option. You have to be well lit or you will not look good on camera. Period. Dot. End of story. So if you are melanated, I mean, obviously, Charlie, you're not overly melanated yourself, but for anyone who's watching that is highly melanated, lighting is the one thing you can do to definitely improve everything about your podcast.
Yeah,
it's kind of silly how it's.
What's some good
lighting? You're good.
What are some good lights?
I'm a huge fan of most like in terms of like budget stuff. I always start looking at like Viltrox. I always find their qualities on their panels are really good. They're not the cheapest, but they're usually pretty good. They made a name for themselves in the camera flash space. But I have like a Viltrox little natural light panel coming through here that I can. It's battery and
with a V, right? Viltrox.
Yes, Viltrox.
Okay.
But really, I mean, the price of LEDs are so crazy right now. I like the standard model, and Rob, I mean, obviously Rob's setup is spectacular. I really enjoy yours. But what you can do is, get like something that you can change the white light balance from like harsh white to warm to like a warmer tone, just something like that, like 5500 to whatever the other end of the spectrum is, Kelvin. And then get like a color LED. You can get just one of those like you don't have to do anything special with the color LED ones if you don't want to. But that provides a nice backlight to give you some separation. If you have a closet door behind you, it doesn't do much. But between the combination of those two, you can that does not cost a lot of money. You can get a lot of bang for your buck there.
I will add, Charlie, that Rich just said a bunch of stuff and I know the words he said, but I went to college for TV and I took a class that taught lighting and like key lights and like all the lighting, all the stuff. And I effed around in that class and I don't know how I passed it because I don't remember any of it. And Jason can attest the years of trying to get my lighting in my studio right. And I don't know how to angle the lights or like do a backlight or any of that stuff. So I just say F it and I just roll with it. Right. But like, if there is a way, and I don't know if anybody on the panel has a suggestion, but there's a way to, if there's an online tutorial or some sort of just like primer on where to place your lights to get to look like Rob.
I was going to ask the same thing. Rob.
My fellow photographer, Rich Straffolino, definitely knows.
DSLR video shooter, the YouTube channel DSLR video shooter. He has whole courses you can buy, but he has tons of videos where it's just like, here's how to make a whole lighting setup with just a cart. Here's how to make the ultimate. Here's how to make the ultra budget. Here's like a cool thing you can do with this one LED light. And he has a tons of stuff reviewing like old cameras and stuff too. But everything I learned about lighting, I learned from DSLR video shooter. Very accessible, really clean, good production.
I would take the time to learn that stuff because I wish
I learned
in college. So.
I learned all mine working in theater, and I'm not paying attention to it because I just have one sconce right in front of me, and then the sconce is behind me. And I usually don't do a lot of video, but it's working right now.
I'm sure a lot of people heard you and said, great, one of these days I'll go watch a video about this, and then they won't. So for those people, is there short advice of like, if you do nothing else, do 3-point lighting, or if you do nothing else, do a key light, or if you do nothing else, do this. Like what's the simple advice?
How about we start with what we're seeing right now, because we know that he's in his studio, right? And I can look at it and I could say like, your background is well lit, your foreground is sharp, but your face is not well lit. Yeah. And so maybe if you do nothing, you get some sort of front light. Maybe it's a ring light. Make sure that it's diffuse. You don't want a hard light because then you're going to be casting shadows all over the place, and you don't want that. Or maybe you do. But, it's a stylistic choice. But I would argue you probably want some sort of diffuse light right in front of you that's going to spread light out evenly on your face. So at the very minimum, your face is lit up to kind of match what your backdrop is. I don't know that you're going to go all dramatic and dark like what Rob has necessarily for your school videos, but I mean, if you do, that's a whole other can of worms. But that would get you started.
Let's just be honest. Rob lights are amazing. He's well lit. His background is interesting. It creates dimension when just because Rob's there is he's like a masterclass on how to podcast with a webcam.
Can you elaborate on diffuse lighting? Because I have 2 LED lights. They're not on presently, but they create weird shadows on my face. And I like, the only thing I figured is I put a yellow screen. I have somebody called it a charming vampiric pallor. And so I bought yellow gels and I put them on, and now I just look like I have jaundice, but at least I don't look like a vampire. But either way, I still like, and again, this is outdoor lighting. This is fine right now. But when I have the proper lighting on, you can definitely see the shadows on my glasses and things.
You need to change your angle of them.
Yeah. So change the angle. So Andrew, I want to answer your question, but I want to start.
I've just been moving them like this, but maybe like move them, like rotate them, as opposed to just
and up and down too, not just so they're more direct on you.
The angle that they're shooting towards you. If they're like straight on, then they're not going to cast any shadows, right? Because it's coming straight. If they're coming at this direction, then you're going to have shadows on this side. That's where the shadows come from with that hard light. So
and it's coming down. That's what it's going to give you bags into your eyes.
Right. Exactly.
So one of the things that Charlie said that he was looking to do is do this as inexpensively as you can. So that being said, one light. And if it, like I'm looking right now at some lights that are like, you can get like a 2-pack of these LED lights for $39, $49, $69. They're not terribly expensive, but if you were to just go get one light, because that's where the budget is, and if it's not terribly diffuse, instead of pointing it at you, pointing at the ceiling directly above you, and then let the light bounce down on you. If you have it looks like you're in an office. I'm going to assume that your ceiling is white. If your ceiling is white, you can point your light at your ceiling, and then it'll diffuse it if you don't have a diffuser. And it'll just get those shadows that are off of your face right now, because the thing that is clear to us is that your lighting is decent in the room, but it's all behind you. You need the light to be in front of you. So I would shine a light, either if it's diffuse, shine it directly at yourself and turn the intensity down. If you can't, if it's not diffuse, turn it all the way up, pointing at your ceiling, and just let the light spill down onto you, and that will look 100% better than 100%. It'll look significantly better than where you are now, just because you'll be lit. If you start getting more into it, Andrew, what you're talking about, the shadows, is that you got to look at the angles. You're probably going to want those lights at like 45 degrees on either side of you, and then one of them is going to be let's say you have one light at 80%. If you do want to have a little bit of shadow, then maybe you run the other one at 60%, just so you don't have the exact same light. If you want to be evenly light like you're on the news, you're going to have those 2 lights that are that are to the side of you, and they're going to have the same intensity, so you don't have any shadow cast on your face. So do you need a course to go through all this? No. I've watched some videos to figure all this stuff out, and I've watched more of others. I've never taken a course on this, but the key thing, start with one light and get it in front of your face. And if it's too harsh, just shine it at the ceiling and bounce it down onto your face. And that does a world of difference.
Any big white wall you have, it'll make it super soft and nice.
Actually, if you have your monitor against a wall and you have a light behind your monitor and you bounce it off the wall, it will do the same thing.
Nice.
Okay. I'm just showing this real quick just to show you. This is Becca Farsacci. She's excellent. But I know for a fact, like, she doesn't really have any light in her room at all. Obviously, just a little bit of natural coming through here. All the lights off. All she has is a big like whitewash ring light. And that's where you get this standard lighting that you see a lot of people on YouTube and stuff, where it's like kind of dreamy, kind of forward focused light. Everything in the background is secondary, but it has nice separation. This is what you can do with one light, essentially, is what you're seeing here. And that's perfectly ample, right? Like, you don't need a lot of extra stuff. It just really depends on your space and what kind of aesthetic you're going for.
Yeah, just the light she has is just enough to separate her from her background.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's why you can get by with just a ring light or something, because that's going to put that light on you and separate you. And then you can deal with if you have LED panels that have, some color dimming or yellowing on them, you can start to make it warmer and all of that. But that's why I asked the question of like, is there just a thing that somebody could do to get them started? And I feel like that's one of the keys.
Yeah, bouncing light is the quickest way to diffuse it, especially if you have white walls. It just makes it dead simple.
Going back to the camera discussion real quick, Professor That Charlie Dude, what telephone?
That's Mr. the Dude to you.
Sorry, Mr. Professor the Dude. What smart telephone do you have by chance?
What smartphone I have? I have a Pixel.
Okay, so
but I don't use it for recording.
I wish we had some Android experts on to help me out here. For me, I love continuity camera on iOS. And that's what I use every single time. The quality of it is spectacular. It's a wireless connection. I keep saying don't use wireless, and everything I'm using is wireless. But so do as I say, not as I do. But the quality on it is spectacular for something you already have. I'm assuming is there something like that on Android, Jason?
So what's even greater is that you can stay wired. And you can use your Pixel as a webcam, and you could just get your USB-C cable and plug your Pixel right into your laptop and have it feed into StreamYard or whatever you're using, and it can look pretty darn good. In fact, our former co-host on Android, Faithful Mashal Rahman, that was his primary webcam on the show, was his Pixel phone, if you remember correctly. So
yep.
That's a solution you could do as well too. It looks dang good. So
I will warn though. You will get a notification during the show, and you'll be like, "Oh, does somebody look at that real quick?" And then you realize your phone is facing backwards.
I would turn Do Not Disturb on, or yeah.
No, so I produce a show for a woman who uses her iPhone 17 as her primary camera, and it's glorious looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the studio light on here is actually the effect. I just turned it on. Is pretty nice. Like it does kind of give you. Just a nice little pop for a little bit. So it's not
I would actually recommend against most people going out and getting a really high-end webcam for two reasons. One, a lot of them are overly complicated to give you features you don't need. And two, if you're using a DSLR or a mirrorless camera like what Rob's doing, a lot of the processing happens on the unit. So by the time your computer gets the video feed, it's just a clean feed, no processing required. If you go and get something like an Insta360, one of their more advanced cameras that can track you around, everything else, a lot of that processing has to be done on your computer. And if you're not using if you're not using a fairly recent computer, it can really start to drag down and cause problems on your connection. I'm using a Mac Studio with the Logitech 4K camera, and you can see my videos jumping around because whatever reason, like it just started like 2 weeks ago. But keep it simple. If you're going to get a webcam, you don't need to go with the most advanced models or anything else. I would say it's almost better if you can just if you have a fairly recent phone, to use the phone, because a lot of that processing is going to happen on the device, and it's something you don't have to buy.
Based on the email that you wrote to us, based on what you wrote to us, it sounds like you've already got the webcams to do what you need to do. Like I said, the camera you're on right now, you get some light on your face, you look great. I mean, you look as good as some of us do right now, with the camera that you have, because it's clearly at least 1080 camera, and you've got decent light behind you. You get one ring light, and put it in front of you. You're gonna look just fine.
Yep.
Okay, good. And I didn't think about light, and I can easily bounce a light off this wall or the wall at home. I can get one of those clippable shop lights that I have in the garage.
Yeah.
And just bounce it off a wall.
I would say if the only thing with that is maybe look for a warmer bulb. That's just my personal preference. I like
color
light.
temperature.
Yeah, or get one that's adjustable. A cheap Hue light would be like $30, right, and then you can adjust the color temperature, because you want the temperature to either match closely to the natural color temperature in the room, or be very different and intentional about the color difference.
Yeah.
So if you have like a warm room and you want a cool light on you so you really stand out, that's one thing. What you don't want to do is have a warm room and you're kind of mid, because it's not going to look good visually.
These newer bicolor LED panels just have yellow and white, but they have brightness control. They're $100, and they're extremely useful, and I know a ton of people that use them. So that may be more than you need if you've got a good light that you can just pop in there. But just throwing that out there for people as well.
I feel like Tom needs to send me that affiliate link, so I need one of those.
Yeah, I do want to reiterate
I don't have an
something
affiliate
that
link, unfortunately.
something that Amos said, towards the beginning of the conversation about light. If you look like me, the recommendations that we've made won't necessarily work for you. You have to look for a light that you can change the color temperature on. Yep. It's unfair that is this way, but it is, you just have to do it. If you are a darker complected person, you will need to turn down the color or turn up the color. You need to make it warmer so that you don't look ashy on camera. Like right now, I probably should actually change mine. I got a little bit of shine on my forehead, but if I were to just have natural daylight, I would be, especially with wearing a white shirt, all you would see is is like the dark parts of my beard, and the dark parts of my hair. Everything else would be washed out. So if you are a melanated person, you want to make sure that whatever light you get, and they're going to cost a bit more, but whatever light you get, you want to be able to turn the color temperature up and down so you can actually tune it for your skin tone. Because if you don't, you will look ashy on camera or you'll be washed out.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be a full color spectrum light. No. You don't have to have blues and greens and everything. No, just the ability to do the temperature.
Just Kelvin, just temperature.
So with lighting, there's basically 4 types. You've got a straight light, which is going to give you one color temperature at one brightness. You've got a light that will change the brightness, which is the dimming effect, how many lumens it's actually putting out. And then you've got color temperature, which makes it either cool, basically almost a bluish white up to almost a yellow white. And then you've got full spectrum LEDs, which I'm not recommending anybody buy for podcasting. You just don't need it. Yeah, color temperature is the sweet spot. If you can get them, they're typically just a little bit more expensive than a dimming light, and they're nowhere near as expensive as full spectrum color lights. And I think everybody should use it. That's what you want, because that's what's going to give you the separation. It's going to give you the matching or whatever else you're looking for without being overly expensive.
That's what I have. And when I said it's got yellow and white, the yellow is the color temperature. That's how it does the color temperature. So,
well, I'll throw out too that even if you're super pale, you need to be able to change the color temperature or you'll wash yourself out. So, I mean, I've got a kid who's almost clear. She's so white. So we need to make sure that when she does calls and stuff, that we color temp change so she's just not eyeballs and nostrils on the call.
Unless that's the effect you're going for, which I mean,
which it can be a choice.
That's definitely a choice. It's not.
Okay, what about software? So recording software for effects. Maybe I want to show my computer and me, like maybe like a picture-in-picture type of deal, or if I eventually get to 2 cameras and have 2 cameras like I'm doing an interview style recording. What can I use to do that? And I'm currently using OBS to do that because I don't like the software that our college has a license for. So I just went to OBS and I have one setting for the monitor and with me with a little picture in it.
Well, StreamYard lets you. Oh no!
Yeah. Are you Mac or PC?
PC.
Hey Tom, on that note, I usually use Riverside. You're using StreamYard. Why is that?
StreamYard lets you stream to multiple locations, which Riverside didn't when I got StreamYard.
Okay.
And Restream, I think, is probably the closest comparison to StreamYard as far as capability for streaming to a lot of different locations. So if you're like, I want to do live streams, StreamYard or Restream, Riverside can do some of that stuff now, but it really is more about, I want to record. It's focused on, I want to have a good local recording.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's good because I tend to say a lot of really edgy, offensive stuff, and I want the ability to cut it in post. So I'll stick with Riverside then.
Yeah, you're always saying stuff like, just wear your suit coat with your regular pants.
Real hot takes on land value tax, stuff like that.
Yeah, the interesting thing between the two, I think Tom nailed it. I mean, like Riverside is great, but it is audio first, where StreamYard and Restream are video first. You can Andrew, you could use StreamYard, and I do, like both for Andrew and Faithful, and for my other show, iFanboy, we use StreamYard, and you get the raw audio and can do the audio editing just like you do with Riverside. You can. It also has the live stream
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So.
And I would just like to say that as soon as you start mentioning podcasting and software in the same conversation, you are immediately jumping on the trampoline of every podcaster's last nerve, because this is a conversation we will always have every single time, because it's constantly changing, and there's the pay for play versus the freebie section. You're never going to get the same answer from two different people that are in this, because it's constantly changing.
But I think what we could do is give some sort of like, if you're starting out, if you have no budget and you want to do X, these are good for it. So if you're like, I don't want to pay for a lot of software, I just want to have something to get started.
Well, weirdly, we're all probably horrible to ask about that. I say that for this reason. I don't know all of you gentlemen, but I'm going to hit you up for bail money later. So we'll all become very good friends. But my guess is that we've all been podcasting for a while. And as a result, we're probably using more pioneering software that other things have changed or caught up with on. So, for example, I'll record in Riverside, which I like. I think Riverside's very good. I'll do editing in Adobe Audition. Learning Adobe Audition's like landing the space shuttle. It's this massive thing that 90% of it you're never going to use. If I were starting podcasting today, what I would probably do is learn all the inbuilt podcasting tools in Riverside, because they've now done all the stuff where you record it and go, put in my music, ... clip, and then you can move forward. And I don't know how to do any of that. I'm probably adding unnecessary steps to it. But were I starting fresh today, I would look at what the existing podcasting recordings things are. Like Riverside would be top of my book, and then figure out if you could just do it in-house from there. I think Justin Robert Young, who is too cowardly to join us today, now records most of his things on Riverside. And so I think that would be the way to go.
That is a great point, Andrew. I mean, similarly, like we record with StreamYard, and then I go and do the audio editing in Audacity.
Yeah.
Why? Because I've been doing it since 2005 in Audacity.
Yeah.
And it's free. Audacity is 100% free.
And shockingly enough, Audacity is relatively robust. It's not
Very good.
It's for what it is, it's shockingly robust.
When I started podcasting, I tried Audacity because it was free, and I could not figure out how to use it because the UI was just trash. They have
It still is.
But they've since completely revised the UI to where there's these things called tooltips and mouse overs that will tell you what the button is before you press it. So Audacity is a free option.
I mean, if you need that kind of hand holding, Amos.
So I started with Audacity. Audacity and moved to GarageBand, and I outgrew GarageBand. Now I use Logic, and kind of then the same thing with Premiere or with Adobe. I use 4% of Logic every day. There is 96% of Logic I don't even know exists, but I'm really happy it's there in case I need to learn it somehow or use it. So,
but Audacity is free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hang on a second.
GarageBand is free if you've paid to be in the Apple ecosystem.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
And
in the Mac.
the rest of them are something you have to buy.
I was going to say, hold up, because Charles is going to be doing video editing.
And then
So
and then are you exporting
Audacity,
that?
I wouldn't. I love Audacity. I use it every day. But
Those
if
are
I'm
audio.
doing-
We've talked entirely about audio. So
But
yeah,
that's-
let's talk a
that's
little
the
bit
thing,
about
though,
video.
What's interesting is that
Video.
like it's funny because like Jason and I we do and Jason, I want to put you on the spot because I'm curious what your workflow because Charlie, it all depends on what your workflow is. The question is what your workflow and workflow is defined by what your recording process is, how you're doing the recording, and then what your output, what your endpoints are going to be, right? And so if the idea is that you're recording first as video and then you're going to be editing in video to then export video and audio, like it's part of it is like maybe mapping that out because that will dictate what tools you use. And that's why, Jason, I kind of want to throw it to you because I think you're kind of like the king of workflow where I'm just a hack.
I try.
I mean, I'm, because like our show, Android Faithful, is video first. We live stream and record the video in StreamYard. And then I just take that video and I export the audio and bring it into Audacity because that's what I know. And I do the editing in Audacity. I know that's totally wrong. So Jason, I mean, like, what is the proper workflow for a video first podcast? I guess,
Well, you say it's totally wrong. It's not totally wrong if it works for you. That's the whole point is totally that, custom. Everybody's
the best editor you have is the one you have with you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I tend to stick in Premiere, to be honest. I do my audio editing in Premiere because I'm taking the video out of StreamYard, putting it onto a Premiere timeline where I have templatized layout, which, the templates is a whole other can of worms, but that's going to save you a lot of time down the road to have all your music and your graphic pieces where they go so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. I edit that to what it's going to be. And mind you, our podcasts are not overly edited, right? We're just top and tailing, where's the start, where's the end, maybe a few things in the middle or whatever. And then I export that out to a video file and audio file. Boom, done. And then I've got everything I need for both formats. What you want to avoid is having to edit the same thing twice in two different places. Because
that's what I do because I started
audio over there.
I'm kind of playing around with YouTube now, and I'm having to figure out how to do it on Premiere. And I'll do most of it. Then I'm like, damn it, I just know how to do it on Adobe Audition. So I'll make the whole thing on Premiere, and then I'll send the files over to Adobe Audition. And you don't want to waste your life that way, Charlie.
No, it's horrible.
That's actually very similar to my process.
Do you have any experience with video or audio editing at this point? Is there anything that you're already using to do this?
A little bit. So I've played around with the different tools. I've experienced using Audacity back in 2005, 2006. So I can do the audio. It's the video, and I never got into video. And I do as little editing as possible. For example, this week I am video recording student feedbacks for a Python programming assignment. So I'm going through their code and having it on the monitor, their program on the monitor, and pointing out things that they can do to improve, things they did well, that sort of thing. And then I'm not editing those. I'm saving them as an MP4 and uploading them to the gradebook. I do plan to do some video recordings. I'm going to do a AI intro for my students, and for that I'll need to do some editing. And I really don't have a product that I like. I've played around with a bunch of different stuff, and I really haven't settled on anything. In fact, I kind of put it on the back burner, and this is one of the reasons why I sent this email to begin with, is because there's so many different tools out there, and Microsoft recommends these, and then other people recommend this. Work says use this one, and I don't like any of them. Or they seem to have extra bells or hoops you have to jump through, not bells.
So I've started playing around with DaVinci and really like it.
Jinx.
Yeah, DaVinci is quite good. But here's what I say: if you're going to be using a tool like Riverside, and I think the consensus was that Riverside is very, very good. When I recommend to my podcasting clients that are doing video work, and they need a place to record, Riverside is the first one that I go to, even though I use StreamYard every day, because StreamYard is just overkill if all you're doing is recording yourself and then editing after the fact. The great thing about Riverside is that they actually have what's called a visual editor built in. So instead of having to edit in a timeline, you literally will get a text file. It'll look like a Word document where you can just go to, I said this word twice, or, it'll automatically allow you to, to understand where your double takes are. And it'll automatically get some of the stuff out with AI. And it's part of the package that you get when you actually use it to just record your content. So for me, when I'm talking to someone who's kind of just starting out and like the tool that they use is the first tool they're probably going to get good with, I say if you're going to record in something like Riverside, you probably want to learn how to do the edit in Riverside. It'll make your life a lot easier. Can you do everything in Riverside that you can do in DaVinci Resolve? Absolutely not. Can you do everything there that you can do in Adobe Premiere? Absolutely not. But chances are you wouldn't do those things if you were to start off with Premiere or start off with Resolve at the level that you are right now, which is basically a novice. So I am a huge fan of Riverside for this reason. It records, it does a bang out job at recording, and then you can edit your content in the same tool, and it gives you this visual editing interface so that you can edit like you're editing a Word document as compared to having to jump into a timeline and editing like you would in Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve.
That's nice.
Agreed.
And that's a fairly recent ability that the programs can do that certain programs have been able to do that for a while, but they haven't been reliable enough. You'd take out a word and it would take out half the word or this or that. And it's just now within probably the last year gotten good enough to where you can really rely on it to do good work for you.
Also, I would imagine you're looking at the prices here, but there's educational discounts. I want to say that Riverside offers it's at least 20%. It might be 40% for educational discounts.
Yep. If you're looking for a standalone editor, especially if you're doing video and you're not overly worried about audio, I would say go with Resolve. DaVinci Resolve. It's got a free version. It's exceptionally capable for a free version. You probably won't need any of the advanced stuff that comes in the paid version, but even if you do, it's a one-time payment and then you're good. You don't have to, there's no recurring payments. I've tried using it a few times, but I'm kind of stuck in the Premiere way of life because that's what I've been using. But I've got until November to learn how to use Resolve and get off the Adobe train. That's where I would start, just because it is so capable and it can do almost anything that you're going to ever want to do on a free version.
Yeah, Diplo uses it.
Does anybody know? I've started doing monologues and I'll put them on YouTube. And in order to record them, I have to write the text. Then I use a thing called SpeakFlow. That's $40 a month, which seems excessive for a teleprompter program. Does anybody know of any alternatives that would work and are cheaper?
Doesn't StreamYard have a teleprompter built into it?
It does. It has a feature built into it.
I don't know how good it is, but
do you need it for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rob and I both got the Elgato prompter.
I have it too.
And we use that, and then you don't have to pay on an ongoing basis.
So it's like an actual, like you've got like a physical unit that you've
got.
We've
actually got physical teleprompters that Tom and I are using.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But there are some quirks to it because they've both complained about sometimes there's a little thing here, a little thing. There's a little temperance you got to use with it. But I mean, you pay once and you can use it. So it's
there's an
that's
app
pretty
too,
much
for
every
like
prompter I've ever had has something.
Yeah,
with it,
they're
right?
never perfect.
Wait, that's the prompter right there that you're showing me?
That's the prompter.
Oh, got it. Okay.
There's nothing on it right now. It's just a blank screen.
And you've got the camera behind that. That is
the
what
camera is attached to it and then shoots through it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I get the problem I have with that is I like having my screen in front of me so I can look at notes and things. How do you look at your notes while looking into the camera?
It's a monitor.
Huh?
It's a monitor. You can put whatever you want to put.
That's my monitor right below it, and
Yeah.
then the prompter is above it. And
it doesn't look like you're looking up into it.
no, I just look right. I actually just look right over it. So, I can look down. I can look down.
Yeah, the Elgato prompter, the Elgato Prompter XL, which I am my gas syndrome, my gear acquisition syndrome is probably going to have me go get in the next month or two. It is just a bigger version of it that has to sit on a tripod, because that's the one thing about this is only, I think, a 9-inch screen, and the new one is like a 15 or 16-inch screen.
Yes.
But we really need that 16-inch screen, Rob.
Yeah, the cool thing about this is that it's a teleprompter, but it is also a monitor. So Tom could literally just drag his desktop right to it, and whatever is on his desktop is now in the is in the prompter, and you're just looking at it. So you can use that as a confidence monitor to just talk to people, because like right now, I don't have anything. I'm not reading anything, but for me, I'm just talking into my teleprompter. Because that's where I see you guys' faces. So it looks like I'm looking at you because I'm actually looking at you as I'm talking to you.
That's sweet. That you're looking at us. That's nice. Makes me feel seen.
Find someone who looks at you the way Rob and I look at you through our prompter.
Yeah. And Rob, you're using Elgato?
Yeah.
And it's not just the teletype, it's also your actual monitor is there as well.
You can use it for either or.
So my Elgato prompter is my 4th monitor that I have hooked up to my computer. So I've got the laptop monitor, I've got 2 monitors here to the side, and then right now I'm looking directly into, you see me tapping it, so I'm moving around.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking directly into my Elgato prompter, but I don't have any text on the screen. I literally just have my laptop monitor mirrored to it. So whatever's on my laptop monitor is on this. So like right now I'm looking, Charles is in the middle. I'm looking right at Charles, which is where the dot is for my, for my camera, to let me know where the camera is.
and you can just put whatever you want on there. You could like it's us right now. It doesn't have to be text. Like it's just another monitor. There's just a camera at the back of it.
It's just another monitor that has a camera on the back end. That is the really cool thing about this. And as I said, they just probably in the last 6 months came out with a larger version. My complaint, I did a live with it, roughly maybe a month or 6 weeks after I got it. My only complaint is that it's small. So I have it, I am 2 feet away from it. I can't have it much further than that because I can't see the print if it's too far away. The bigger model is, like I said, I think it's a 15-inch monitor. So it's the same thing. It's just bigger. So instead of having it sit like this is literally sitting on a microphone stand. It's so small and so light. The bigger one, you need to put it on a tripod, but that's okay because it's bigger and you can have it sit further away from you. You just have more real estate. But once again, it is just a monitor when you want it to be a monitor.
And it works with pretty much any camera. They've got a bunch of adapters and insets and stuff.
So you can literally use your phone with it.
Yeah.
So my existing OBSBot, which like will track me around, I could put that behind there?
You absolutely. In fact,
hold Rob's.
There's no camera that I don't have. I actually this is the Tel 2. So my next test is to actually mount this behind the Elgato to see if it works.
Okay.
And I'm certain that it will because there's a video that showed me how to do it and it worked for them. But yeah, this bad boy can sit right behind there and it should be just fine.
Well, Charlie, any last questions before we wrap up here? I feel like we've overdone it.
Well, y'all threw a lot at me. I have all these notes now.
Oh, man.
Through. So I took notes. I was studious. I was a good student.
Excellent.
But I don't have any questions now. I'll probably send y'all some later. I'll be like,
Yeah,
okay,
please do.
should I use DaVinci or use this or whatever? Or I was wondering if DaVinci was PC or Mac or both. I'll look it
It's
up.
both.
But,
It's both.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any questions. And yeah, kind of not overwhelmed, but I do have a lot of stuff to go through and some options, which is good. Having options is nice.
Yeah, I would just leave you with this. You've already got your cameras. You know, if you're using a camera that's at least as good as you have right now, you're fine. Get a ring light or get a panel light, and then you're good with lighting. When it comes, you are going to need to make a decision on what are you going to record in. I don't think anybody would recommend using Google Meet or Google Chat or anything like that.
Microsoft
Zoom.
Meetings or whatever.
Yeah, can you do it? Yes, but they just don't. They look like that's what you recorded in them because they're not designed for the recording. They're designed to just do what we're doing right now, have a conversation with a bunch of people on screen. But if you go with something like Riverside or Descript or Talk, I mean, there's a bunch of different ones out there. But just find the ones you like. I am a huge fan of Riverside. I'm not trying to make this be a commercial for Riverside, but it is really good. And I know that they offer a really good educational discount. So the price of it is fairly inexpensive for what these things cost. And it has the editor built into it. So you can record and edit in the same tool. You never literally have to download your files. You can send them directly to YouTube or directly to, to wherever you want to send them to once you actually do the edit in the actual interface. And it's part of the system. And then I also use Resolve. Resolve is freaking awesome. It is great. It does way more. But in the beginning, I always recommend if you're going to use Riverside or something like it, just use that built-in editor because it'll probably do 85 to 90% of what you'd ever want to do.
All right. Big thanks to Ron Richards from Android Faithful, Jason Howell from Android Faithful, AI Inside, DTNS, Rich Straffolino from Daily Cybersecurity Headlines, CISO series. They all had to go earlier. And before we get out of here, thank you, Hammond, for hanging out with us. Anything to send people to?
Be on the playlist with JM&C is my interview show and Soundography and Daily Music Headlines.
Anthony Lemos, a.k.a. Amos. What about you?
DailyTechNewsShow.com.
Wow, that's convenient. You're right there already. Rob Dunwood, what about yourself?
DailyTechNewsShow.com.
Is that a site we can go to?
Yeah,
wait. You know what? Daily Tech News. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. And don't forget the Tech John. Don't sleep on the Tech John.
The Tech, JAWN.com.
Andrew Heaton, why aren't you part of Daily Tech News Show?
I don't know. I keep buying. I bought 7 iPhones. I keep hoping that the more Apple I buy, I'll be on it. I don't know. I bought once a year, so
If people don't know where to go to find your stuff, where should they go?
You can find me on The Political Orphanage. It's a podcast that I host for people that are tired of red team versus blue team stuff. So if you have friends you disagree with, you probably belong in my show.
Fantastic. And I will be hanging out with you talking books on Monday, right?
That's right. We're
I'm
going to
looking
talk
forward.
about Jason Pargin's book.
Yeah, fantastic. So check that out as well. That Charlie dude, thank you so much for all of your support of the show for years and years and years and years. You're always insightful, sending good questions and good insights and good information. I really appreciate it, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the show. I use it in class. I send students to it, and so I reference it a bunch. So it's a great tool for me. I feel like I get my money's worth.
Oh, I hope we helped you out some today. Do you have any place you want to send folks to or anything like that?
No, I lurk in Discord. So if you want to, if you have a question for me, shoot me a question in the DTNS Discord. I'm there, so I'll eventually see it.
Fantastic. And that Charlie dude, it's easy enough to find you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for the Hangout. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday for the office hours and a regularly scheduled daily tech news show. Talk to you then.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh.